Prince Harry's current visit to the UK has turned into Meghan Markle's ultimate nightmare. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Prince Harry at the moment is on a charm offensive, right? He's here in the UK for September 2025. He's visited his late grandmother's, Queen Elizabeth II's grave. He's attending events for charity, etc. However, you really think this charm offensive is working? No. After all the stories over the past couple of weeks of Hazza allegedly potentially meeting up with the king, of Hazza and Megxie potentially allegedly perhaps going back into the royal family as part-time royals, Hazza's finally here in the UK and he's still as disliked as ever. And we are all seeing through his bullshit moves, right? So this trip has therefore turned into an absolute nightmare for Megxie. Because if she thought that Hazza could turn things around for them on his own in the UK during this fake royal tour, then she really needs to think again. Because before he even got onto the plane, here's Hazza being caught merching his absolute backside off. My mate Nancy from Sidley Tweens saying, Sussex Squad says this is the bag Harry was merching. Oh yeah, there he is, about to go onto a plane to get to the UK. And here is what he was merching. Mulberry, the heritage medium clipper. As Truth Above All says here, this a-hole is merching the bag on the day he's supposed to honour his grandmother. Never forgive this piece of shiz. I can't wait to see what he'll merch on the day he's supposed to honour Diana. Now, the Sussex Squad are trying to make out that this bag is sold out. But, yeah, he really is not that good. And guess what he does, right? First thing he does when he lands into UK is to visit Queen Elizabeth II, her grave, and, you know, send along his respects, this, that, and the other. But he made sure everyone knew about it. Like, seriously. Of course he's going to visit Queen Elizabeth II whilst he's here, right? I mean, let's be real, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't, right? However, to me, the only way that he could have done this and come out of it, so to speak, alive is, yeah, visit Queen Elizabeth II, pay your respects and whatnot, but don't let anyone know. Or if he really has to let everyone know after he's left the UK. But he couldn't do that, could he? And so everyone's seeing through his bullshit there. Everyone's also seeing through his bullshit with his attendance at the WellChild Awards last night. He tried to look like he's the old playful, loving, cool Hazza that he was before Megxie attended the scene. Look at this right here. Here are the headlines going around all the newspapers right now. Oh, look at Hazza. Look at him being so cool and so fun-like. Yes, this is what we remembered him as before Megxie entered the scene. Blah, 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 blah. Right, guys? Well, yeah. Not everyone fell for that BS. As you can see with this headline right here from the Daily Mail, Harry's attempt to be a fun prince again is tragically ham-fisted and too little too late, royal experts claim. People are also questioning his suitability for WellChild in the first place. Here, we've got Royal Thoughts at Insightful Watch on X saying the following. Prince Harry's children seem to be separated from both their families, and the only glimpse their grandfathers and family members appear to get is when they're paraded on social media. This is why many would say Prince Harry is unsuitable for a role at a children's charity. Can't argue with that logic, really, can we? And as GB News is saying right here, they're trying to change the perception of Prince Harry, right? Team Sussex are trying to change the perception of Hazza and by extension, Megxie, right? But there's a problem, and this is what GB News said.
In the royal family, listening in and watching in, to think it's 3 years today that the late Her Majesty passed away, and that will weigh heavily on the hearts of many viewers watching this channel, many of our listeners, Cameron Morgan. It just seems inconceivable that Harry will not comfort his father on this day, particularly, of course, having not even seen him since that cancer diagnosis.
It's really tricky, Martin, and to be honest, whenever we cover Prince Harry on our channel, our viewers get in touch and our listeners get in touch and say, why are you talking about Prince Harry? There is still quite a resentment, I think, amongst the British public towards Prince Harry. You look at the opinion polls and he is third least popular member of the royal family, but I think he is wanting perhaps to change that. As you say, 3 years to the day that we lost Queen Elizabeth II. It was probably exactly 3 years ago that he was getting on a private jet alone, trying to get to Balmoral in time to see Her late Majesty before she passed away. He didn't make it. Neither did the rest of the royal family, Prince William, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward, and the rest of them on the RAF plane. And they didn't speak then. And the King obviously is at Balmoral. He is marking the accession day privately with the Queen. Prince William is kind of keeping calm and carrying on with the work he was doing this morning at the WI.
And none of them give an absolute rat's ass for Prince Hazza at the moment being here in the UK. Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that sentiment as well. Now, this is the thing. Yet again, he may have actually used this event, used WellChild, to freaking merch his backside off. Here, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, at the WellChild Award 2025 in London, he's spotted wearing a Hugo Boss geometric pattern tie. I'm just asking for a friend here, but at the WellChild Award 2025, did Hazza just try and merch his way into that thing again with this tie situation? Like I said, I'm just asking for a friend. Now, this was all yesterday. Today, as of the recording of this video, 9th of September 2025, he attended a community recording studio in Nottingham. But this is the thing, right? As you're seeing this video play out, the next Invictus game supposedly is happening in Birmingham in a couple of years' time in 2027. However, there's nothing I've seen to suggest that he'll actually be visiting that city during his current visit here. Why is that? What the deuce is going on? Now, what we're seeing here, overall, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is Hazza trying to follow a step-by-step guide of the Anatomy of a Charm offensive, right? He's trying to do things in the UK here to try and turn opinion around for him and Megxie. It's not working, and that's Megxie's biggest nightmare right now. Because what he's doing, it's all fake, it's not authentic, and that's why he and Megxie will always lose. Now, thanks to HRH Lady J on X for sharing this. This is really, really interesting. And so this is the Anatomy of a Charm offensive, Prince Harry's UK visit. So on day 1, September 7th, 2025, the build-up. So before Hazza's even landed, the groundwork's been laid. Major outlets carrying stories of its excitement and fresh start to visit, blah, blah, blah. Day 2, September the 8th, 2025, the Queen's anniversary. Harry arrives on the most symbolic of dates, the 3rd anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's death. Almost immediately, word spread that he had privately laid a wreath at her grave in Windsor. But as with so many of his private gestures, it swiftly found its way into the press. He then attends the WellChild Awards. The reporting is that he's in a good headspace, showing warmth, compassion, blah, blah, blah. But the reconciliation drumbeat continues. Will he see the King? Is a reunion possible? Blah, blah, blah. Day 3, so today, as of the recording of this video, September the 9th, 2025, using charity as theatre. And so Hazza's engagements extend to Nottingham, where he visits youth and community projects. They draw deliberate parallels to his mother, Princess Diana, noting his focus on vulnerable children and social issues. And so the reconciliation narrative is shifted also. Now no longer framed as likely, it's now framed as not impossible. This careful hedging allowed the press to keep the storyline alive without admitting it had been based on flimsy speculation. And then day 4, tomorrow, September the 10th, 2025, is all about closing the circle. And so as Hazard's visit comes to a close, they then round off the narrative in the press. Stories highlight his poignant tributes, his dedication to service, his compassionate engagements, blah, blah, blah. Conspicuously absent is any actual reconciliation with King Charles, with Prince William remaining distant, and the family rift remaining. This is a play-by-play of what Hazard is trying to do right now. Therefore, what he's doing, it's all fake. It's not authentic. That is why he and Megxit will always lose. That is why everything he is doing right now, if he thinks that is going to be the key to turn it all around and get back into the good graces with the public again for him and Megxit, he has failed spectacularly. And that is Megxit's nightmare right there. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. What do you guys think so far to Prince Hazard's fake royal tour in the UK? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces, and until the next time, you guys, laters.